One thing we do here on Real Ones, we have all the guests shout out a real one in their life. So who's a real one in your life that you'd like to shout out?
Man, shout out to my grandma. I was just texting her, man. Grandma Lenore.
Shout out Grandma, that's fire.
96 years old. She's texting me like, I heard you're in Chicago. How's the shit doing? It's cool that I'm in the green room for my rap shows. Like, my grandma's hitting me up like, shit look lit on the gram. Like, she's on Instagram. Like,
oh, she's on IG.
She doesn't speak like that. But
This one's for the real ones. Never been a chill one. High head temple, what on my shoulder? Nothing but hell around him, but he know heaven sent him.
Man, good to know. They live for Marlon Craft. You heard it here first. Hey, I'm Tyrel Alejandro, Real Ones, and I'm here with
Marlon Craft.
So, what's it like being on tour again? Being back on the road?
Man, it feels good, man. This is the biggest run that I've done headlining, and yeah, we're just doing more people than ever, and it's just like the energy's crazy.
New York ain't dead. It came back to life in the apocalypse. I done seen too much by 14 to be an optimist. Round late registrations drop. I learned about consequence.
It's been amazing, and I'm excited for tonight. Chicago always shows love. So.
No, that's one thing we're definitely known for out here. Do you have a favorite show so far of the run?
They've all been fire, but to be honest, like we did Sacramento on a Monday, and they turned up. That shit was crazy. Yeah, like sometimes it's sneaky, those little like smaller towns and off nights. It's like real passionate people in that shit. You know what I mean?
No, that's fire. I didn't know Sacramento was lit like that. I was just out there. I didn't know they were lit like that.
Me neither.
But man, good to know. They live for Marlon Craft. You heard it here first.
Yeah.
So one thing I wanted to definitely talk about is a lot of your influences. So your dad is a jazz musician. You grew up in New York. How did those things influence your sound?
Man, I mean, my dad, like, I was never into jazz as a kid, but my pops was always just playing shit around the house. So I don't think I really realized it influenced me until I started making music and then realizing the shit that I was drawn to and everything like that. Like, growing up in New York, it's just like the mecca of hip-hop. Hip-hop's like the language. There's so many different types of people, but everybody speaks hip-hop. Everybody listens to hip-hop. So it was just real, like, all my experiences as a kid just led me to love hip-hop and use that as the vehicle to express myself and shit.
No, 100%. Who were your favorite rappers as a kid?
As a kid, I was listening to, like, Dipset. I was spending a lot of time in Harlem playing ball. It was like Dipset was like religion. It was like the 50 Cent era, you know, like when I was in middle school. All that, and then of course like Nas and Jay are like New York timeless staples. Later on, I got into like heavy into Kendrick, J. Cole, and Joey and those guys. And,
100%.
But honestly, Chicago's had a huge influence on me. Like Mick Jenkins, one of my favorite rappers ever, maybe one of the rappers that's influenced me the most. And that whole pocket of time where it was like Chance, Vic, Mick, Saba, like Save Money, all that shit, like it was inspiring to me the way y'all clicked up out here, because we don't really do that in New York like that.
No, 100%.
So I fuck with the Chicago scene heavy.
Yeah, that was about when I got into the scene, because I'm originally from Jersey, from the East Coast.
Okay.
But I moved out here around like 2017-ish, so that was like kind of towards like the end of that era, but like still kind of in it. And it was really cool, you know, seeing all these different rappers that like were doing tons of huge things kind of come up together and do this shit together. Because, on the East, like, it can get very, like, you know, competition-y out there, you know, very, like, you know, it's like dog eat dog. Like, everyone's trying to get theirs. Which, in the day, like I was saying, like, the hustle is the hustle. But it's something cool about just seeing niggas come up together and, like, you know, do it as a crew. Like, speaking of basketball, one of your projects that I really got into that made me, like, a huge fan of your music was the Home Court Advantage Volume 1.
Word.
One of the things that I was really drawn to about the project is just how much, like, basketball was a theme everywhere, from, like, the rollout to, you know, you creating the Slam magazine cover for the first one, the album art.
Yeah.
So, like, where did the idea to just kind of really go all in on basketball and the theme, like, come from? Like, how did you guys get to that point? Because, you know, you're rocking your Knicks jersey in, like, the video for, I think, Haram. You know, where you're doing a lot of, like, the freestyle shit that was going crazy on Twitter. Like, where did the original idea come from to do all that?
Man, it just was authentic to me. Like, I grew up playing ball in the city. Like, I played for Riverside Church, which is, like, this legendary, like, AAU program in the city. And, and I just grew up playing ball. And basketball and hip-hop went hand in hand. I heard a lot of the songs that I got put onto in like my coach's car or tournaments uptown, or the older kids at the basketball court putting me on. So it was always just true to me, and that's what I love outside of rap. Like basketball is, and my Knicks are like, you know, that's my passion and shit. So, you know, I just like, in wanting to have fun and step into like what I consider the mixtape space, I was like, let me just embrace that. And then in doing so, I kind of ended up telling a lot of the story of who I am and how I came to be how I am, but sort of unintentionally. Like, I wasn't like, oh, I'm gonna do this whole branding of this thing and then people are gonna understand from whence I came and shit. But like, it was more just like, let me just do the shit I want to do and have fun. and then that ended up telling my story in the process a bit, you know.
Right.
Yeah.
Like you're getting out there, without the intention to, so it comes out like, maybe a little more clear in that sense.
Yeah, exactly, man, exactly.
Yeah, no, that era was super dope. I mean, you had, you had the joint with redveil, and, you just went all in. I was like, damn, like watching it on Twitter and everything as a fan, I was like, yo, this is a nigga who really cares about the craft, because he's really diving in on, all fronts, which I thought was really, really dope.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
But yeah, another thing, you just dropped a song with Method Man.
Yeah,
Talk to me about that. How did that come to be? What was it like working with such a legend, man?
Bro, that shit was crazy. I got connected with Meth through my barber, bro.
Your barber?
Yeah, it's like the most New York shit ever, bro. Like, it was literally my barber. Shout out my man Chaz, yo. Chaz, you the man, bro.
Fact.
Shout out to Chaz. Chaz a legend in the game, and he cuts everybody, but he's the homie, and he was working on Power. And Meth is on the Ghosts, the Power show.
Yeah.
So he got cool and he was playing in my shit, and he was just like, yo, this shit is fire. And he was like, oh, I know Marlon Craft. Like, I know him. Put me in touch with him. Like, I've heard of him. Like, I know, whatever. So he was kind of hip. And then we just got in touch, and we went back and forth, and I made that joint specifically, like, with him in mind. Because I was like, yo, this shit got to be, it's so cool that he wants to do something, just all for the love. But also, sometimes the link-ups be legendary, but the songs don't really hold up as songs. So I was like, the songs got to be fire. So it took a little time to like really figure out what, and that shit was just perfect, and he just went crazy. And so it's super validating for me, because he was saying shit to me that, like the type of cosign and validation that for whatever reason, like, people have always kind of been hesitant to give up to me. But when you have someone that's like certified true legend, that's just speaking to you from a genuine place and just expressing like, yo, you're on the right path and your shit is dope, like, that shit means the world. It kind of keeps you going as an artist. So shout out to Meth, man. That shit was crazy.
That's super awesome to hear, because like, I feel like there's no bigger cosign than someone who's really been true to this for that fucking long, especially like not just in the hip-hop world, like coming up so early in the scene, but also that nigga's onto TV now, he's been on TV,
bro. He's everywhere, bro. I feel like I see him he was like the Jets spokesperson this year. He's on TV, he's on the cover of like Fitness Mag and all that. Like, it's amazing. And I told him that, like, it's inspiring watching him like reinvent himself and over again, but not even reinvent, but just like expand himself and stay fresh and stay on point, because that's how I feel, bro. Like, I'm trying to, when I first came in the game, they'd be like, you go talk to the suits and they'd be like, you might be able to have like a real good 10-year run, and I'm like 24. I'm like, so what, I'm gonna be dead in my 30s?
Yeah,
like, that's good. Like, I'm trying to have a life, you know what I'm saying? I'm trying to think of long term in this business, and it's a long game that we playing out here. So it's like, seeing him, play the long game is inspiring.
Right, and like be in it, because that's the thing. I don't know what it is about hip hop. They don't do this for any other genre, but they always write off rappers like 10 to 15 years into their career. Yeah. And it's one of those things where it's like, you could be a rock nigga and doing that shit till you literally drop dead. Yeah. You could be a pop girl and, take a 20-year break, come back and do a reunion tour for like, 5 years, and you're Gucci. But hip-hop, it's like, damn, you've been in it like 10, 15 years, like, we're getting ready to cut you loose type shit. And it's super awesome to see, like, people who originated in that and, helped kind of create the space we're living in, still going and pushing the limits on what a rapper could be. Because they always try to box in, but you could really do so much.
Yeah, and I mean, I think with Meth, is like, he really cares about rapping and about art and about music, and he loves it. I think a lot of people get into shit to try to make money.
Yeah.
And, like, that shit expires. You know, like, but for me, I'm not going to stop making music till there's no more music left in me, you know what I'm saying? And I hope that is never, because this is what I actually love and care about. So I just feel like that's sometimes what happens is, like, people fall out of love with stuff, and then their pens or their music falls off, or people are shading them because they maybe had a commercial moment, but it never really was about the genuine connection that they were making with people. And that's what's so special about these shows, is that no matter what the size is, some a little bigger, some a little smaller, but I see the genuine connection that people are making with my music and with my art. And I know that, like, regardless of what happens in 10 years, 15, 20 years in those people's lives, that song that really spoke to them, that they really connected with, they're going to hear it and think back on that time. It's that connection is forever. And I think that's the type of shit we got to focus on more as artists, because I think people are just trying to come run in and just grab a bag based on what they see. But it's not really a setup to having a very fulfilling life and livelihood in the long run, you know.
Right, because at the end of the day, like, a lot of this music is soundtracking real people's lives.
Yeah.
So you want it to be memorable. That's real. I fuck with that heavy.
Yeah.
One thing we do here on Real Ones is we have all the guests shout out a real one in their life. So who's a real one in your life that you'd like to shout out?
Oh, man, shout out to my grandma. I was just texting with her, man. Grandma Lenore, 96 years old.
Shout out Grandma, that's fire.
96 years old. She's texting me like, I heard you're in Chicago. How's the shit doing? She's up on the tour. Like, she's hanging in there. She's sticking around. And it's so dope to... And she was an ill director and did a whole bunch of shit, but she's just an ill person. And, you know, yeah. Nah, shout out. It's cool that I'm in the green room for my rap shows. Like, my grandma's hitting me up like... Shit look lit on the gram. Like, she's on Instagram. Like,
oh, she's on IG?
She doesn't speak like that, but she's like, it looks lovely on Instagram.
No,
like,
right.
you know. So shout out to my grandma.
Shout out Grandma for real. That's awesome that she's keeping up with you on the road and, like, you know, really just as excited about you about this shit. That's awesome.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Well, shit. Thank you so much for the time. I appreciate it.
Thank you,
have a
man.
great show tonight. We're excited.
Appreciate you, man. Appreciate all you guys,
yeah.
man. Shout out to Chicago. We out here. It's playing the long game. Let's go.
Yes, sir. Awesome. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you.